Hi, welcome to Christine's Corner. It's Grandma Christine reading you a book by Katherine Gibson and Michael LaChance. The illustrations are by Christine Cancelli. I hope I said the names correctly. As Daisy May finds her way. There's a dog and a little girl. Boom! Smash! Crash! Watch out! Called Renee. Renee and Maria were on their way to school when one of the trash cans that cluttered the sidewalk in front of them tipped over and clattered to the ground. The girls watched a skinny dog scrounge for scraps from among the scattered litter. Ugh, she's so dirty, and you can see all her bones, said Maria. Poor thing, I wish we could help her, replied Renee. This dog going through the garbage can. And some more kids checking it out. Just then a schoolmate, Butch, dashed up and grabbed 2 trash can covers. He clanged them together like cymbals. Get out of here, you dumb dog, he shouted, then whipped his arm back and flung one of the lids like a frisbee and barely missed the dog's head. She skittered away, her tail between her legs. Hey, what did you do that for? Renee said angrily. Butch sneered. It doesn't even look like a real dog, more like a chicken. He flapped his arms and clucked. Maria rolled her eyes and tugged Renee's arm. Come on, we're going to be late for school. This is school and the teacher and other kids. This year, Renee's class was on the 2nd floor. She walked in and sat down in a chair next to the window. All the seats were taken except one next to her. The bell rang and Miss Kisco shut the door. Good morning, everyone, she said. Knock, knock, knock. The class was interrupted by loud banging on the door. Mrs. Kisco pulled the door open again. There stood Butch. You're late on the first day of school. Do I have to send you to the office for a tardy pass? Several students grinned and a few giggled. Renee saw Butch quickly hide a smile, just as he tucked his chin and dropped his head. Please don't, he said in a sad voice. I'm only late because I was helping a lost dog cross the street. Mrs. Kisco said, then firmly pointed to the empty chair. Butch walked over and smiled as he sat down next to Renee. She crossed her arms and just glared at him. He was very mad at him because that's not what happened. All that day, Renee tried her best to avoid Butch. Finally, the last bell rang. Everyone rushed out except Renee. She carefully put her books in her backpack. Just as she finished, there was loud laughter and shouts outside. She glanced out the window and saw Butch and his friends standing in a circle chanting, Get her! Get her! Yelp! Out of the circle raced the skinny dog. Hey! Stop it! Renee banged on the window. What's the matter? Did something happen? Asked Mrs. Kisco. Renee didn't answer. She was already gone. When she reached the playground, everyone was gone. Renee snapped her fingers and thought to herself, Gibson's Cove, and off she went. Most of the kids were there swimming and having fun, but there was Butch. He stood in his favorite spot, barking orders, telling everyone what to do. So everyone's swimming underneath the bridge. Renee was out of breath and could hardly speak. She stomped over to the side of the bridge, took a deep breath, and yelled, Butch, you big bully! The cove went so quiet that even the frogs stopped croaking. Slowly, Butch got up and walked over to her. Oh, I guess you saw me playing with the dog again, huh? Leave that dog alone, she said firmly. Butch chuckled. What are you going to do about it? Renee clenched her fists, scrunched her nose, turned and walked away. Butch just laughed as he watched her leave. Over here is Butch, and here's Renee. Too angry to go home, Renee walked to the beach where she had last seen the dog. She pulled a granola bar from her backpack and opened it. Soon she heard a rustling from behind the bushes. Out popped the head of the dog. Just then Maria arrived. Hey, do you know who this dog belongs to? Renee asked. It's no one's dog, and she's scared. She's scared of everyone, Maria said. Maria inched closer to the bushes, made kissy sounds, and called, Here, Daisy May, here, Daisy May. But just as she got close enough to touch the dog, Daisy May's head popped back into the bushes and was gone. I've been coming here every day with treats, but she's still afraid of me, Maria sighed. How did you come up with the name Daisy May? Asked Renee. Because she reminds me of a flower. She's always popping up and making me smile. We need to find who she belongs to, said Renee. Marie nodded. We can try, but I don't think she has anywhere to go. There's Daisy May that they just named her. The next day at school, Mrs. Kisco, who had also noticed what happened on the playground, stood in front of the class. Today we are going to talk about kindness. We need to be kind to ourselves, our families, and our pets. Now, who likes animals? All the kids raised their hands except Butch. Mrs. Kisco asked, Butch, don't you like animals? Nah, my dad says pets are for sissies. He doesn't like animals, and I don't either, said Butch. I'm sorry to hear that, said Mrs. Kisco. She turned to the class. Whether we like animals or not, we should never abuse or hurt them. Animals can't speak for themselves, and they can't tell you if they are hurt. If you see an animal that needs help, or if you see someone hurting an animal, you should tell someone. Just because you don't like something, doesn't mean it's okay to hurt it. Leave the animal alone. When the bell rang and the class was dismissed, Butch stormed out. Renee, do you want to come over to my house and meet my dogs? Asked Maria. Sure, Renee replied. There's Butch. Let's just take a sip of water here. When the girls walked into Maria's house, her dogs rushed over with their tails wagging. One jumped on Maria's belly and licked her cheek. Yuck! She laughed. This is Cinnamon, and that's Luke, Maria said between giggles. Renee hugged Luke, who kissed her over and over. She was thrilled. All her life she had wanted a dog. Where did you get them? Asked Renee. They are rescue dogs. We saved them, replied Maria. What do you mean? Asked Renee. Some animals don't have a home, like Daisy May. If they're lucky, the animals are found by someone like my mom, who works at an animal shelter. They've been trying to rescue Daisy May, but she's too fast for them. If she would let them catch her, she would get a bath, food, water, and a safe place to sleep. Do the animals stay at the shelter? Asked Renee. No, the animal shelter finds them forever homes. Maria's eyes grew wide. Hey, I know. Why don't you adopt Daisy May? She asked. Renee smiled at first, but then looked down at the floor. I can't, she said. My dad is in the Marines, and we moved around a lot. So my parents said it would be too hard to have a pet. But I would love to, said Renee. This is the dogs that Maria has. They look quite happy. The girls went outside and sat on the front porch. They could hear loud, angry voices coming from next door. "Uh-oh," said Marie quietly. "I think Butch is in trouble again." "You know Butch?" Renee whispered. "Yeah, he's my cousin." Suddenly the noise stopped. Butch stormed out and slammed the door behind him. He walked up to the girls, grabbed Maria's hand, and yanked her to her feet. "Come on. I'm going to Gibson's Cove, and my dad says I gotta take you with me." Renee watched them walk away and felt sad. She thought she understood now why Butch never seemed happy. There's the two girls talking to each other. Renee went home, grabbed her bathing suit, and followed the others to Gibson's Cove. She saw Maria sitting on the bridge railing close to where Butch was in his usual spot, barking orders at everyone else. Today he was swinging a tree branch like a baseball bat. Renee quickly looked around the cove and spotted Daisy May hiding behind a big rock that the kids liked to climb. She got Maria's attention and pointed to where the dog was hiding. Butch looked over and saw Daisy May too. "You again? How many times do I have to tell you to stay away?" He darted off the bridge. "This time you're going to get it," Renee shouted. "Stop! Leave her alone!" Butch kept running. As soon as he was close, he swung the branch. Whap! It smashed down hard on the rock and scared Daisy May away. Here she is. Poor Daisy May. She must be hungry. "No, don't!" yelled Maria. She jumped up, lost her balance, slipped off the bridge, and fell right into the water. She came up for air, slapping the water and crying out for help. "Go help her!" shouted Renee. Butch just stood there. I can't swim!" Renee jumped into the water but couldn't swim quick enough to reach her. Butch ran back up on the bridge, knelt down, extended the branch. "Grab on!" he yelled. Maria gripped it with both hands. He pulled and pulled with all his might. Slowly, she started to rise out of the water, but the branch slipped out of Butch's hand again. Maria went crashing back into the water. Maria was still holding the branch and trying to stay afloat, screaming, "Help! Help!" But no one could reach her. Maria was getting very tired. It seemed hopeless. All of a sudden, from behind the big rock, Daisy May jumped into the water. She swam over to Maria and bit down on the branch. Everyone on shore started yelling, "Swim, Daisy May, swim!" With every last bit of energy she had, Daisy May tugged Maria back to the shore. See, this is her. Trying to get out. She's drowning. Renee swam back to shore as quickly as she could and ran over to see if Maria was okay. She was very relieved to see her friend sitting up. Then Renee turned to look at Daisy May. Her eyes were closed and she was motionless. "Oh no," she cried. "Is she all right?" asked Butch. "I don't think so," said Renee. Without hesitation, Butch scooped up Daisy May in his arms and held her tight. It's right here. So he's get out of the water here, and he's picking up. Butch is picking up Daisy May, the dog. "Where are you going with Daisy May?" shouted Renee. "Dr. Bryler's," yelled Butch. He ran as fast as he could to town. He ran past the schoolyard, up Main Street, and right into the veterinarian's office. The other patients in the waiting room barked, meowed, and chirped from all the excitement. "This dog just saved my cousin from drowning. Help her, please." Butch pleaded with the receptionist. Dr. Bryler came out and took Daisy May to the back right away. Butch finally caught his breath. He slumped down in a chair in the waiting room and thought about how mean he had been to Daisy May and how sorry he was. I will never hurt anything ever again, he promised himself. There he is. He ran into the doctor's office. He's feeling sorry for what he had done and how he treated Daisy May. Now he is there to get her saved. Soon the town heard what happened. It wasn't long before the waiting room was packed with Renee, her parents, and many friends. Maria and her family were there too. Finally, Dr. Breiler came out of the examining room. He had a very serious look on his face. Is she okay? Asked Butch. Well, she's okay for now, said the vet, but she needs a home and a family who will love and take care of her. Renee started to cry. She loved Daisy May. Her dad put an arm around her and gently wiped the tears from her face. Daisy May is going to have a family, he said. We will adopt her. Really? Renee's face lit up. Her father nodded. That dog is a hero. In the Marines, no one gets left behind. She's coming home with us. The nurse brought Daisy May out. She barked and wagged her tail as everyone cheered. Where is the doctor's office? There's the doctor, Daisy May. They're going to bring her home. Isn't Daisy May lucky? The next day, the town was at Gibson's Cove to celebrate. Butch walked over toward Daisy May. She hid behind Renee's legs. He pulled a dog treat from his pocket, knelt down, and put his hand out. Slowly, she sniffed the treat and took it. Butch asked, "Can Daisy May come and sit with me on the bridge?" At first, Renee wasn't sure, but then she saw something on Butch's face that she had never seen before. A smile. Renee hugged Daisy May and handed the leash to Butch. They went up and sat on the bridge together, watching over the swimmers and keeping everyone safe. Daisy May had found a home, and Butch had made a friend. Ah, isn't that sweet? That's the story. What would you do if this happened to you? Daisy May finds her way. I have one more book. So, but maybe we can answer the ones in the back. Just think about the questions. What would you do if this happened to you? Have you ever been in a situation where you saw an animal that seemed to have been mistreated? What would you do? What would you do if a friend was teasing or abusing a dog or an animal? Or what are kind ways to care for a pet? What do they need? Is being kind to an animal the same or different than being kind to a friend? And what would you do if a friend was mistreating someone by saying unkind words or teasing them in ways that hurt them? And have you ever been to a rescue shelter? Is there one in your community? What animals are there? Do you know anyone who has adopted an animal from a shelter? Maybe you. How can it be different than getting a pet from a pet store? And what are ways you can help get the word out about being kind to animals and how rescue shelters help abused animals? And here's pictures of some rescued animals from different parts of the country. I don't know, the state. Catherine Gibson is an award-winning author of 5 books for children, host of the Kathy Gibson TV show, and the founder of For Children with Love, an organization which supports various children's charities. The mother of 2 grown sons, Kathy fills her time creatively writing children's books with a positive message and producing her TV show. At the heart of all of Kathy's work is finding ways to instill in children the joy inherent in showing kindness and respect to others. Kathy lives, writes, and films her TV show in Connecticut. The co-author is Michael LaChance, is first and foremost a family man blessed with his wonderful wife Laura and two amazing boys, Tyler and Brian. He is a creative story, script, and songwriter, as well as co-producer, director, puppeteer, and voice impersonator for the Kathy Gibson Show. Michael loves to help kids by getting a message across through humor and levity. A native of Connecticut, Michael enjoys collaborating with his good friend Kathy Gibson. And the illustrator, Christine M. Cancelli, is best known for her paintings of dogs and horses. Her work has appeared in many for publications including the New York Times and Reader's Digest. She lives in New Jersey, close to Monmouth Park and the Monmouth County, giving her easy access to her favorite sports. Kathy signed the book for us. So she's a native of Connecticut, and says a portion of the proceeds from these books will go to the For Children with Love Foundation, which supports animal causes. This is one of her her dolls, and it says she does in sign language, one of her books, and this sign language means I love you. So I have Daisy May finds her way, and Gracie saves the day. Coach Bob and me, and what's your something special? There's 6 books in all. I'm missing 2 books here, and she does very, very unique work, and thank you very much. We've enjoyed her reading her books, and reading, and we love everything that she does, and the illustrations are fantastic. So thank you for listening and joining in Christine's Corner. See you again next week.